Starting with my dry ingredients. So I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I love these because these are just 1 bowl. Second cup. And then a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. They're just a little bit sweet, but not too much. A 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. This gives these a nice rise. This is very similar to a biscuit dough. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, because as always, good to have salt in your sweets. So give the dry a quick whisk to combine. Now that I have my dry, I'm ready to add butter. This is 1 stick of cold, unsalted butter. Really important that this is cold because this is going to give you your flaky layers in your scones. So what I'm doing here is I'm just pressing the butter with my fingers to make little petals of cold butter. When the butter melts in your scones, it creates an air pocket, which gives you that lovely fluffy texture that you're looking for. You can also use a pastry cutter, but I kind of like getting my hands in there and getting a little bit dirty with this one. So you're just looking for pea-sized clumps. This would be a really good activity for the kids to help out with. Their little hands are perfect for this. When I was thinking of a St. Patrick's Day treat, I immediately thought of my stepmom because she comes from a big Irish family. They are the Duffys. And every year her mom makes Irish soda bread, and they always cut off little slivers, and it seems like the loaf lasts for weeks. I mean, it's delicious, but if you've ever had Irish soda bread, it makes a lot of soda bread. So I was trying to think, how do I turn this into more of a single serving, fun thing you could bring to a brunch, you could bring it to your St. Patrick's Day party, and I came up with these drop scones, which are just so easy. And they bake in a lot less time too. So this is looking good. And now I'm adding my wet ingredients, which is just a cup of buttermilk. This will moisten everything nicely. And then throwing in a 1/2 cup of currants. This is kind of traditional to Irish soda bread. And 2 teaspoons of caraway seeds. This is another really traditional flavor. Mix these together. If you really like caraway, you could always up this to a tablespoon, but I found that 2 teaspoons was just the perfect amount for me. So you're looking to get these just moistened. You don't want to overmix them, otherwise they will get tough. The caraway seeds are really nice here because they add a little bit of almost a licoricey taste. Now I just have an ice cream scoop. You could always use 2 spoons for this, but this is really easy to get same size scoops, and I'm just going to drop them right on my baking sheet. Hence the name drop scones. And this makes 8 scones, which I think is a nice amount for a party, or maybe having enough for your family for a couple of breakfasts. It's a pretty sticky dough, so if you are using 2 spoons, you might have to maneuver it a little bit. I'll have to scrape the bowl for that last one. Alright, just like that, they are ready to go in the oven. My oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and they will bake for 15 to 20 minutes until the bottoms are golden and the tops are just set. My scones are ready. I've let them cool completely, which is the hardest part because they smell so good fresh out of the oven. And you could definitely eat them as is, but I like to add a little orange glaze. So for that, I have a cup of confectioner's sugar, 2 tablespoons of whole milk. Just whisk this to combine. Should be a nice drizzly glaze. And then I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of orange zest, which adds such a nice fragrance, citrusy flavor, plays really nicely with the currants and caraway. I love the smell of orange zest. That looks about good. Also adds a really nice, pretty color. Get all the lumps out of the glaze. And now I'm just drizzling this over my scones. They have nice, craggly tops to catch all of that delicious glaze. And I've put a piece of parchment paper under my rack here, just in case to catch the drips, just so that I don't make a mess on my counter. Wow, this looks so good. The orange smells amazing. This is a perfect treat to brighten up a March day. And it's citrus season, so you love having that little hint of citrus in there. Right. Let's see, who else needs a little more love here? Got one last little bit. There you have it. These are Irish soda bread drop scones. Normally, I would let the glaze harden a little bit to set up. It takes about 10 minutes, but these look so good. I obviously have to eat one right now. Wow, look how fluffy and tender that scone looks. That is from all of that cold butter. You have the currants, the caraway. This looks delicious. I hope you'll give these a try for your St. Patrick's Day celebration. Enjoy. Really tasty.